This episode of On the Limb with Nature's Voice Game Calls is brought to you by Top Down Construction, a local construction company located in Hurricane, West Virginia. A veteran-owned and operated construction company ready to tackle any project. With over 25 years of experience in the industry, they offer a wealth of knowledge from design to completion. Contact them today at 304-415-2203 and let them make your dream a reality. You can also check them out on their Facebook page or call them today at 304-415-2203.
Guys, we're back on another segment here at the South Charleston Cabela's, coming to you live from here. They're having a big spring classic fishing sale going on right now. We've had a lot of different things going on today, a lot of different events. They've had a bunch of seminars here for fishing and things, and I got Dan Hall here with me, co-host, and Dave Young doing the production. So we got Jeff Richardson. He's Cabela's fishing pro staff. We got him on. So, Jeff, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
Oh, we're doing great.
Doing well. Good to have you on here.
Thank you.
So, you're here today helping promote this big spring fishing classic sale here at Cabela's. Tell us about your role as the fishing pro staffer.
Well, my role is to promote Bass Pro Shops, Cabela's products, other products in the industry of fishing, rods, reels, baits, anything to do with fishing, I try to promote that.
Awesome.
Nice. So, how'd you get started in the fishing industry, and where'd that interest peak at?
In the industry or in the outdoors period?
In the outdoors period, fishing industry. And
well, when I was little, which is where it starts,
Sure.
I have a 5-year-old grandson that I'm trying to get him going too.
Oh, awesome.
That's great.
But when I was little, I just my family fished, and it's always been a passion of mine. So I've been fishing all my life basically. But as I got older, I got interested in tournament fishing and then promoting product, and so that's how it all got started. And I started out with this, with just one particular company, and then ended up for years. I mean, I've been promoting product since '92.
Oh wow! Okay.
So, but I've been on pro staff here for about 6 years.
Nice.
Okay.
So, what basically is your role as the fishing pro staffer there? Do you have to do so many events or seminars or things like that, or just promoting the product?
Well, I mean, I promote it wherever I'm at, but I'm required by the company to do 10 promotions a year.
Okay.
Okay.
And today actually was the first one for this year.
Oh, nice.
And, so I'll be back out tomorrow afternoon.
Nice.
And the next 2 weekends I will be here.
Now, what all are you doing tomorrow? You back out here?
Basically the same thing. What I do is I will help customers, as they're looking for products for different techniques, and just try to assist them in getting the products that they need. If they have questions about rods, reels, like different gear ratios, what techniques are used for specific rods and reels, what baits that they need, what types of weights or hooks or anything like that, I try to help them with.
Nice.
Yeah, that's awesome to have somebody like that, because, I mean, that's really, your specialty. I mean, you specialize in stuff like that, so you'd be the perfect person to ask. I mean, you're always fishing, you're always doing that, so.
Well, as I was growing up, learning to bass fish, and one of the things I try to tell, like, especially some of the younger fishermen, is to try to learn a lot of these different techniques.
Yeah.
So that it makes you more versatile. And, so now the dark side for me on that is that I end up owning a lot of rods and reels.
Yeah, definitely.
So,
Absolutely.
there's a good side and there's a bad side of it.
What's your go-to combination? You like bait caster, open face?
Yeah, it just depends on what's happening or what's not happening. Because there are times that my pet technique or something is just not working.
Sure.
And because there was a time that I was struggling out here on the river, and there's a technique that I had a rod set up for it all the time, and I'd give it about 5 minutes and nothing happened, and I put it up and I went back to what I normally did. So this one year nothing was working, and I said, well, since nothing's working, I'm going to try this technique, which is called drop shotting.
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
And that same year, I started catching some fish on it. And that same year, I caught 2 smallmouth bass over 5 pounds back-to-back cast.
Oh, wow. Nice.
So drop shotting, there's always a rod set up now for drop shotting in my boat.
Yeah. So how you know Jeremy Allen? We was just talking to him here earlier, and we sat down here to get ready to talk to you, and he was like, oh, yeah, you guys should have had Jeremy on.
Well, Jeremy, him and I met through Cabela's.
Through Cabela's.
He also, used to fish, some bass tournaments too.
Yep.
We never fished, against each other, but, around here, a lot of people know each other.
Yeah.
And, you come to these tackle stores, and then, if you don't know somebody before you get here, sometimes you know them before you leave.
Yeah, definitely.
And Jeremy's a real personable guy, and him and I we kind of hit it off. The first time, I think, was we worked a promotion together.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and we met up, and we have planned to go fishing, but we just we never have. Sometimes our schedules conflict with each other, but I think we're going to try to get it done before one of these days. He has his TV show.
Yep.
And he does this whitetail property. So
yeah, he had a nice boat there at one time. I think he recently got rid of that boat though. You got a boat?
Yes.
What kind of boat you got?
I have a bass tracker.
Oh, nice.
Nice. Yeah, he was talking about that earlier. If you remember, he's going to make his wife buy him that new boat.
Oh yeah, he
It's in
was.
the ad
Yeah,
right there.
He was showing it on the ad. Yep.
Yeah.
Jeremy or mine?
Jeremy.
Okay, because Jeremy's might be able to do it. Mine won't do it.
Yeah, that's funny. Oh wow.
So what's your favorite species to fish, and where do you like to do most of your fishing? Lakes, rivers?
Both. I fish for all the species of bass.
Sure.
I like your largemouth, smallmouth, and the Kentucky spotted bass. But this year, because my grandson is he was out here last weekend and kind of conned me into buying him another fishing pole. So I have access to a couple ponds through a guy that I met, and so I'm going to take him. To do some bluegill fishing and maybe some bass. But, for myself, like I said, all the species of bass. I don't target muskie. Sometimes they find me.
Oh, yeah.
And I definitely don't go looking for them.
Sure.
But, if it swims and it bites, I'll try to catch it.
Nice.
You get into the striper fishing much?
They used to run in this river, pretty good here in the canal, and they just kind of disappeared. Every once in a while,
I've heard that.
They'll pop up, or white bass will pop up.
Right.
But you just don't do it. I've gone to Smith Mountain Lake and caught, stripers and stuff.
I've heard that's a good lake to fish.
Yeah, it is. But
do you? What's that other one down there in Tennessee? It's right across the Virginia-Tennessee line.
There's a Timms Ford.
South Holston.
Never been there.
Never been there?
That's a big lake.
Yeah, I've heard that's really good fishing there if you ever get a chance to do that one. That's right there on the Tennessee-Virginia line.
Okay.
Yep.
What's your favorite place in the state to fish? What lakes you like best here?
Well, I've fished pretty much all of them, but Woodrum's used to be one of the ones that I really,
That used to be one of my favorite.
yeah.
Too.
But, the muskie population has really increased in there. And, I've come close to giving up, several high dollar bass baits to muskies. So
Yeah.
I'll take something less expensive in there if I go there. But,
Sure.
I love fishing the canal when there's not so much boat traffic out there, because you get bounced around quite a bit if you go out there on the weekend.
Uh-huh.
So usually, once the boat traffic dies down later in the year, I'll get out there a little bit more.
Okay. So one of the things that we were talking about the other day, me and Dave, he was saying that he's caught some nice fish out of his mother's pond there on his own property. Do you know if you can can a record or a citation be given for a fish, like a record fish, out of a pond, or does it have to be public waters?
I'm not totally sure, but I will say that a pond's no different than catching it out of a lake.
Yeah.
If you're pulling one from Florida and stocking it into your pond, you might run into a little problem there.
I mean, that was a question we brought up.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I didn't know if you knew either, Dan.
I'm not 100% on that one either.
For some reason, I thought I've heard of people catching things in ponds and having broken records, but
I think I have too. I think a record,
especially when it
catfish
comes to catfish.
had come out of a pond.
Well, see, I think what will happen is that if you catch a record, that they will pull a scale off the fish and test,
okay,
the DNA to find out whether, like, say it's the Florida strain bass that may or may not have been, brought up here.
Sure.
Since, it's not necessarily a native one. Now, of course, when they stock certain fish, they may come from a different state. You just don't know.
Right.
All right. Well, anything else you got to ask there, Dan? Are you pretty good?
I'm good. You got anything else you'd like to add there, sir?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Oh no! I just I was surprised. I was over there at the reel counter, and one of the guys said, "Are you interested in doing a podcast?" I was like, "What?"
Do you listen? Do you listen to podcasts?
Not necessarily.
No.
I guess I am now.
Yeah.
But
You'll have to listen now. Yeah, you'll have to go and check us out.
Yeah, just a lot of times when I'm coming home, I'm listening to something else, and usually in the evenings I'm watching Andy and Barney. So
No, I hear you. I hear you. All right. Well, we appreciate you coming on and talking to us and telling us a little bit about what you do as a fishing pro staff here at Cabela's. So,
Yeah, we appreciate having you.
All right. Well, no problem. Anytime.
it was nice meeting you, sir.
Okay. You too.
All righty.
All right. Thank you.
All right, guys. Well, that's another segment here from our live podcast at Cabela's. We've got one more coming up with Tiffany Radcliffe, and she is one of the – what happened there? That just sounded really good come through there. Am I louder now? I couldn't hear myself a little bit ago, hardly. But, no. I don't know why I done that. Well, we got Tiffany coming up. She's an employee here at Cabela's, so in about 10 minutes we'll have Tiffany on. So be sure to check us out again on Spotify, Apple Music, Google Podcast, Amazon Music. So we're in all the places. Give us a subscribe and a listen. Thanks, guys.
This episode of On the Limb with Nature's Voice Game Calls is brought to you by Backwater Truck Supply, located at 100 Armor Creek Road in Nitro, West Virginia, right across from the Town & Country Supply. Contact them today at 304-610-8699 or check them out at BackwaterTruckSupplyWestVirginia.com. Backwater Truck Supply specializes in accessorying your ride to your liking, new or old. Does your Jeep or truck need lifted or leveling kit installed? They've got you covered. New tires or minor automotive repairs? They got you covered there as well, with a full-service lift along with a wheel balancing machine. They are affiliates with some of the top brands in the automotive industry. Contact them today at 304-610-8699 or check them out at BackwaterTruckSupplyWestVirginia.com. This episode of On the Limb with Nature's Voice Game Calls is brought to you by Apparition Scents, an outdoor and sporting goods company based in Dilliner, Pennsylvania. All of their scents developed and hand bottled with strict attention being paid to every detail. Contact them today at 724-998-7646 or check them out at ApparitionScents.com. 100% lethal or your money back guaranteed. Get a hold of them today at 724-998-7646 or check them out at ApparitionScents.com.
All right, guys, welcome to another segment here on our Cabela's live podcast, coming to you from the South Charleston Cabela's here at 200 Terrace Boulevard in South Charleston, West Virginia. So right now we've got Tiffany Radcliffe, hunting full-timer here at Cabela's in South Charleston. Tiffany, how you doing?
Doing pretty good today.
Doing good, doing good. Dan, I got you here with me and got Dave over there as usual.
That's right.
So Tiffany came by just a little bit ago, and, you know, we was like, hey, you want to be on a podcast? So she says that she's new to hunting. So tell us your background on hunting and the outdoors, and how'd you even get started?
So it's always been something that I was interested in and wanting to take a part in. My family for generations has all been farmers, never really like delved into the hunting side of it. So I kind of wanted to break that barrier, and being a girl and learning is it's not the easiest thing.
Yeah, sure. Definitely.
But this was my best way of diving right into the deep end of that and just putting myself out there for it.
So are you originally from West Virginia?
I am.
Okay.
Military family, so I'm
Nice.
not born here, but from Clay County. So.
Okay, nice. So you got started here at Cabela's about, 3 years ago, you said?
Just about.
So that's about the time you started hunting?
Yes.
Okay.
I think my first hunt was actually, I believe it was waterfowl. I went duck hunting.
Nice. What did you kill one?
I did. I got a juvenile wood duck drake.
Oh man,
nice.
That's a good one.
Oh, yeah. It's mounted not very great. But
Well, hey, you still got
I had
it.
a lot of fun. It was great. Mid-air, too.
There's not very many wood ducks that fly through West Virginia. You know, I mean, there's some of them that habitat here.
I've
but
got some residents behind the house.
yeah, we don't
Yeah.
have very many of them. So that's
Yeah.
awesome that you got one of those.
It was fun.
So is that duck hunting, is that something you're going to continue doing? You enjoy
Absolutely.
that? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. The only other downside is like finding women's hunting stuff. And actually, Cabela's, they have she waders, and I'm thinking that they're going to start putting out some new like waterfowl gear because they've discontinued some of their previous stuff, it seems like. But I'm looking forward to see some more stuff coming out.
Yeah, that's a great opportunity for us to talk about the She Outdoors. That's actually a company that we were just talking to Renee Ernest about, and they're going to start bringing out a lot more apparel and things for women in the true timber patterns, you know, like Canati, Strata, and the HTC. So you'll be seeing a lot more of that stuff come out. We heard it directly from her, so
Yeah.
that'll be something interesting. And that was what we was talking to you about there a little bit ago. Shoot Like a Girl is another organization that brings women and makes sure they keep women in the outdoors and with training and different things like that in the field. So
it's pretty good.
Yeah.
You have to look into that. It's from what I looked into it there just a minute talking with Renee. It seemed like a pretty good program for the ladies of the outdoors.
Yeah.
I love it. That's awesome.
Yeah, and it's a bigger organization than what I thought.
Yeah, it is.
So turkey hunting. You said you've been turkey hunting. Tell us those stories.
Oh, gosh. So went turkey hunting several times, actually, this past year. And one of the first times we went out, we didn't see anything, didn't hear anything, called for the entire out from shooting light until end of the day. And then the second time we went out, we were hearing them, couldn't get them to come in, circled. I think I walked 7 miles.
Wow.
And
That's turkey hunting.
we were
that's
30
not good.
minutes till like the end of whenever you were able to stop.
Yeah,
to
1
keep,
o'clock.
Like, yeah.
Yep.
30 minutes till, saw 3 of them up in a tree right as they were fleeing the tree.
Oh wow. So
Wow.
Yeah.
wow. They were still on the roost late.
Oh yeah. I mean, we spooked them. We didn't even see we didn't see them until we heard their wings and looked
Yeah.
up and we were like, oh man, all right, okay.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
happens sometimes.
Yeah. But hopefully this year we'll have some better luck. I've got faith in it. Got some trust.
You just got to keep out there and keep at it.
Yeah.
The more practice you get. Now, do you call your own?
I'm learning to call. I just
Okay.
got my first diaphragm call this past year, and I've been like practicing with box calls, diaphragm calls, slates. Do a lot better with the diaphragm than I do with the slates and box calls, but it's a work in progress. I'm
Yep.
certainly nowhere to your level right here, but we're working on it.
It comes with a lot of practice.
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah, especially when you're using a mouth call. Now, friction calls, those aren't too hard.
Yeah.
There's a technique to those, but definitely with a mouth call, it takes a lot of years of practice.
Just
Back
a
when,
lot of time on it.
yeah. Well,
I see that.
Most turkey hunters are, of course, like us, we build calls, so we've got a call in our mouth a lot.
Yeah.
And we're playing with them and trying to figure out different sounds and different things like that, different cuts and things. So it's not too often that you don't see us with one in our mouth, especially when you're traveling or something like that. So,
Yep.
so you've deer hunted too?
Have deer hunted.
Okay.
Have not been successful yet. I've actually I've got a gun, I've got a bow. Working on both. Actually, I think this past year, every single time I went out, totally dry. Nothing came out. I saw 2 does different times. One of them up to 500 yards away. Didn't feel comfortable taking that shot. Then here, trying to think. Here towards the very end of the season, I think I saw maybe 2 does. Took a shot at 200, and it was my first deer.
Yeah.
And so I was getting those shakes, and I shot right over her back.
Oh wow. So
Oh yeah,
So do you get that excited in all your hunts?
absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's not
Oh,
just,
yeah.
yeah.
The
I
second
still
that
do,
I'm out
too.
there, I'm just like just
Yeah.
shaking.
That's one of the reasons why we do this, man. I mean,
Absolutely.
it's not all about the kill, Even
Yeah.
though you're talking about you going hunting and, you're out there turkey hunting, didn't see nothing. Well, you seen some things, but you couldn't shoot them. Deer hunting.
Yeah.
It's about the experiences, spending time in the outdoors, spending time with family or, your companion or whatever. So.
I think one of the things that got me started wanting to learn how to hunt was that video of Luke Bryant, where
Yeah.
he's shaking,
Yeah.
and I was like, you know what, I want that.
Yeah.
Oh, and you get that. You get
Yeah.
something good come in on you. It don't matter.
Yeah.
I still get that way with some doe sometime.
Yeah,
You sure do.
love
Yeah.
it.
But so what kind of gun and bow are you using? Did you get them here at Cabela's?
I did. Well, so I got the gun here. The bow I did not. I shoot a Matthews Prima, and I adore that thing. The gun I did get here. I have a Bergara. I have the 243, the Premier,
Great
B14.
gun. I got
Love it.
I got the 6.5.
Oh yeah,
I love it.
it's
And that's
great.
a Bergara.
I'm in the process of getting they have the 22 long rifle. I think it's the BMR.
Yep.
I'm gonna get that. Change the stock out on it. Just make it a little target gun.
Yeah.
But I love the Bergaras. I mean, they've been good to me.
Did you get the BMR or did you get the Hunter or the?
So my 243 is, I think it's the B14. It's the walnut stock.
Yeah.
I think it's the Premier.
Okay,
Could be wrong
nice.
on that. But the BMR is the one here. It's a 22 long rifle.
Yep.
Gray stock, gorgeous gun. It's really, and it's light, easy to carry around, great target.
Sure.
Just practice.
Nice.
Yeah.
You get to go out and shoot a lot, or
Yeah, actually, my mother is previous military, and my father is like ex-law enforcement. So I've spent a lot of time shooting guns, It's just the hunting spot.
Yeah.
So we regularly will go almost at least, twice a month if we can, go out and just shoot.
Nice.
So does your family hunt?
No, actually.
Really?
Not at all.
Still, even with you getting into it, they haven't
Now
started?
they just ask me to kill all their livestock for them. Now they're like, hey, we've got some chickens that are ready to
Harvest.
get onto the dinner table. And
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, well, I'll be there in 20 minutes.
Wow.
We got a cow now, so now that's next on the plate.
So do you have any siblings, brothers, sisters?
I do. I have a sister, and that's it.
Getting her into hunting too?
No, my sister has special needs. She has autism, epilepsy, PDD, and grade 4 hydrocephalus. So it's
Man.
she's a pretty in-home gal, but she likes to see it all.
Yeah.
I come home and I tell her about all the different animals and show her some pictures every now and then, and she gets real excited and she asks a bunch of questions about it.
Is she mobile or is she?
She's pretty mobile.
Is
she's so she's 24, almost 25.
Okay.
And she's about at the 7th, 8th grade level. So,
Okay.
but yeah, she's
Yeah, I mean, there's things out there. I mean, if she
Yeah.
wants to experience it later on,
yeah.
there's plenty of organizations out there that take disability,
Yeah.
people with disabilities hunting.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they'll take them on guides and things like that. So you always have somebody with them, and you can be there with her too. So
I definitely want to.
yeah, that would be awesome.
Yeah, we have a fella that comes in. I'm sorry,
No,
we have
you're
a fella that comes in here who he's special needs. He's been paralyzed from the spine down, and he has actually a bow set up where it draws it back for him.
Oh yeah,
Oh, he hunts. He's great.
man,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Nice. I got a friend out in Arizona like that. He's quadriplegic, wheelchaired, and
Yeah.
he can basically just breathes into a mouthpiece and the trigger pulls.
That's
wow.
awesome.
It's pretty neat how they can set all that stuff up for these individuals with disabilities.
I mean, if
Yeah.
you got a will to do it, there's a way. I've seen guys that have been, that have had disabilities and not had arms, pull a bow back with their foot.
Oh, yeah.
it's crazy.
I couldn't bend like that.
I couldn't either.
There's a girl that goes on America's Got Talent that does that. She stands on her feet, on her
Yeah.
hands,
Yeah, I've seen
pulls
her.
back with her
Yeah.
feet.
Yep.
Whoa, nuh-uh.
And
Isn't that
you
nuts?
think that's shooting upside down as well because she
Yeah.
does a back bend while she's in the air on her
I mean,
hands.
Yeah.
using your
Wow.
toes like fingers?
Yeah.
Come on.
I don't have that kind of dexterity in it. It's just
me
not here.
neither. All right, Tiffany. Well, we just wanted to bring you on and talk to you a little bit and get some history on, with you hunting and stuff. Just getting it new into hunting. That's what we were talking about earlier. We need more women into the sport. We need
Yeah.
to bring more youth back into the sport.
Absolutely.
It's
Good.
it's a dying tradition, and it's something that we need to continue the heritage. And we thank you for continuing the heritage with us.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me on here.
Yep.
It's been a pleasure.
Yeah,
Thank you
thanks.
very much. All right, guys. Thanks for listening here on the Limb with Nature's Voice Game Calls. That's going to conclude our live podcast from here at Cabela's 200 Terrace Boulevard in South Charleston, West Virginia. So be sure to check us out on Spotify, Apple Music, Google Podcast, Amazon Music, or wherever you get your podcast. We're there. We're on about 25 different outlets. So you hear the turkeys in the background. There's tons of people here playing with turkey calls and stuff, getting ready for the season. So
Getting closer.
Yep, getting closer. All right, thank you all for listening. Everybody, have a great day.
Thanks, guys.
This episode of On the Limb with Nature's Voice Game Calls is brought to you by Ghost 802, a sports team based in Vermont. Their goal is to promote safe and ethical hunting and to raise the youth to share the same passion for the archery, hunting, and the outdoors as they did growing up. For more information, check them out on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Let them know that you heard about them right here on the Limb with Nature's Voice Game Calls.